I think I could win it.
I doubt it. No, I got it. I got one.
You got it?
Yeah. But once you think in terms of that configuration, and that reflects what I am, a freaking genius. Hi, this is Shane. I'm here to talk about QA Wars. This is not a game. I'm sharing a quick story about the mindset you should have as a developer about QA. The most irritating event in your life is having your code sent back to you saying it didn't work. But I remember early in my career I would get frustrated with every mistake. And every time my code didn't pass QA, I felt like my entire world was being judged. You know? I felt like, wait, I know what I'm doing. QA is how you become a better developer. It just is. I have met some a-holes of QA, and I appreciate every single one of those guys. I've shared this story before. I was doing a password. I was working on an application. I was working on something where you create your credentials. All right, so you're creating your login, you're registering to the site, and you know they had some additional things they wanted people to check off and a little wizard, as part of the registration process. Great. I was new to the company, had a couple friends say, no, he's good. And I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm the Shane. Okay. So I was just like trying to knock everything out at the speed of light. And I'm like, yeah. Boom, done. In dev, and pushed it to dev so it can be tested. So the application already existed, but they just wanted me to, I don't know, tighten up something on the login screen. Submitted it. My code was going to be reviewed by this guy named Jason. so my Jason goes ahead and he's gonna test the login, and I already tested it, but I test to see if things work. So I go ahead, I did my little fill in everything, submit, check my database. I'm like, yes, that all created right, the password, the encryption, okay, everything's looking like it should look. And then I registered to the site and I log in with the username, and I was like, boom, that was thorough testing. I actually did a good job. Okay, awesome. Submitted it, felt happy, getting ready to move on my next ticket, right? And so I get my email and I go like, what? Oh, maybe I missed something. And he said, hey, the password doesn't work. And I'm like, what? So I open it up again and frantically just like, wait a minute, wait, it saved everything. And I'm like, of course it did. And I'm saying it with a little anger in my voice. No, it worked just fine, yada da 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 da, send it in there. And he's like, no, it didn't. I just did it again and it still breaks. And I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? So I go over there and I'm just like, what are you talking about? I created a password and I've done it twice now. Everything's logging in the database. He's like, I don't. I was like, can you show me how you're testing it? So this dude opens up an online Bible and select the entire chapter of Genesis and copied it. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, there's nothing here to tell me what I need to do to enter this password. So I decided to put the book of Genesis into your password. And I'm like, why would you do that? It could only hold 50 characters. He's like, that's my job to break it. And I'm just like, and I remember being so furious, and only in hindsight that I realized, like, okay, now I got to go and put max characters here and really tighten up the validation. And I was like, oh, I was so focused on just trying to get it out. You know what I mean? I'm a new developer to whole internet programming at the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have put this in here. I should have put this in there. And that was like a really good experience. My most favorite QA guy was, I started working at this company called Secret Direct Online. And they had a guy there, and his name was Jim. So I think Jim was, I liked his personality, okay? So at this time, I'm no longer the super crappy developer. I kind of got some sense by all painful means necessary. I finally learned how to code with some kind of sense. And I'm sitting there, and Roxanne is getting ready to assign me something and put me on some segment of this application, and Jim's gonna be testing it. And Jim is one hell of a character. At this company, we just brag on each other all the time. Great experience. Oh gosh, I keep dropping everything, my bad. Sorry, I like pistachios. Anyway, I'm sitting there with Jim, and I had a great time at Secret. I would just be killing it. I had fun. And so it was time for me and Jim to collide. They had a lot of good QA guys there, but Jim was one of my favorite. And so, somehow I was cracking a joke. And I was like, oh, Jim will be checking your code. I was like, Jim, there's nothing much to check. It's to Shane. And Jim was like, Shane, I live to break your code, okay? I'm going to find something. And I was like, oh, that's really, like, I was like shocked that, like, I wasn't expecting that response. And I'm super cocky having fun with it, but oh my gosh, I really love when Jim QA'd my code, man. I mean, it was definitely made me more focused, because I know if he finds something, he's all in my face about it. And he did find something. Technically, he found something. A couple of things. And I was like, Jim, that's not broken. He's like, yes, it is, Shane. It's not doing this. It's not doing that. It's not doing that. I was like, I know you feel like you got me, right, Jim? Like, yeah, but that's not broken. The code is perfect. And he's like, look at these errors. I was like, don't worry. We'll go talk to Roxanne. He goes, Roxanne, I found this wrong with his code. I was like, wait for it, Jim. Wait for it. Roxanne's like, yes, we know that's an issue and we're not going to be addressing it. I said, Jim, I told you, I'm perfect. So it was really a blast working with Jim. It was. I would love to work with that guy again, because talk about war of the devs. But QA can be very frustrating. There are two types of QA. There is, hey, this person does claims, so she'll be testing it. And then there's the person who writes up your specs and says, now when you're done, send it back over to me, and they're going to do the stupidest things that I would never think of, because I naturally try to make things work. But their job is opposite. Their job is to naturally create chaos and destruction, and you should take it as a challenge. It's war between devs and QA, and the benefactor of all these wars and all these egos is the company. The company gets to deliver better product, and they continue to pay your check. So embrace QA, take it on with excitement, and if you're a developer, talk a little trash so we can ratchet up the excitement. Competition is everything, man. But when you start talking like you plan to do a good job, they start talking like, hey, we're gonna make sure your code works, the benefactor is both of us. So take the word QA and brag a little bit. It will inspire them to shut you up. This is the world between devs and QA. You don't complain about it. You embrace the war. It's intended to last forever. Accept it and eat pistachios. All right, see ya.
And I just wanted to introduce you to my Nerd House Geeks channel on YouTube. And I have other videos out there dealing with other topics, of course. Um, and just stop on by and check me out, subscribe to my channel, and I try to stay busy. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching my video. Like and subscribe to my channel if you want to. I appreciate it. And I'll share as much as I can about surviving in IT.